Hi, I'm Mr. Burke, and welcome to my construction technology class. Today I want to show you how to use the pin nailer to attach these pieces using the floating tenon or domino. Sometimes you might hear it called a feather tenon. And we're going to stick the domino in the slot right there with glue. We're going to stick the domino in the slot on the other piece. It should be nice and tight like that right there. And then we're going to reinforce it with a couple of pin nails. These are tiny little bitty nails that are shot from this nailer, from this pneumatic nailer right there. And so I'm going to show you how to do all that. So the very first thing that we want to do is spread glue. And so we're going to open our glue bottle, we're going to spread glue, and when we spread the glue, we'd like to try to get it on all the surfaces inside there if we can. And so I'm going to turn my glue bottle to the side like this, and I'm just going to go really slow like this and hope that the glue will spread on all sides there. Okay, so looks like this, and I'm actually going to take it and kind of help it a little bit, and that's fine. Okay, and you may get a little bit of squeeze out when you stick this domino down in there, and that's okay too. And so I'm going to locate this setup right here with the compressor and the pin nailer, and I'm locating that on this first table in the shop so that it is right next to this table vise, just in case you need that table vise to help you get a floating tenon to go down in the slot like this. And so you can take it and you can use that to help it get down inside there. Now I got some pretty good squeeze out right there, but I'm going to show you here in just a second what to do about that. I'm actually going to take it and use that, but I'm not done with it right there. I need to wipe it after that. So I'm going to just kind of put it around this tenon right here. It's sticking up. And we're going to take this and we're going to do the same thing right here. We want to get some glue down inside there. It would be nice if it was on both sides. And then I want to put some glue right in here around that edge. Now you're going to get some more squeeze out, and so I'm going to decide which direction I want it to point. If that makes a difference to you, we're going to get it on there, line it up, and mash it down as flat as we can get it to go. Now again, you may need to open this vise up and use the vise to help you get it to go nice and tight, and that's fine if you need that, but we want the end result to look like something like this right here. Now, I'm also leaving a bucket of water and some paper towels right here, because to get glue mess off without affecting your ability to stain later, you're going to need to wipe it off with water. And so you're going to wipe it, and it's going to look kind of like this right here. And then we want to not only wipe it, but we also want to dry this. And so it looks like that. I'm going to use another paper towel to dry it. And if I need to wipe it with a second wet paper towel, then that's fine too. But we want to get this nice and clean right now, because it'll be much easier to get it nice and clean right now than it will be after this glue is set up. So that looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and let that get tacky for a second, and I'm going to do this second one while I'm waiting for that first one to start setting. And so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try to get that glue to spread on both sides if we can. That looks pretty good. I'm going to kind of hold it up so that it'll spread a little bit. Then we'll stick that floating tenon domino in there. Got a little bit of squeeze out, you can see right there, and that's just fine. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Maybe spread it a little bit on that tenon. because this is going to make the joint really strong. So we're going to do it again on this little piece that goes on the back side. We'll put a little bit around the edge, just like this. We're likely to get some squeeze out when we do this. There we go. And we'll mash it down nice and flat. It looks good. And so we'll use a wet paper towel to wipe that glue. Please make sure that your wet paper towels and your dry paper towels that you use end up in the trash can and not left on the table. We're going to wipe that. Make sure you get it real good down in that corner. And once you get it pretty clean, then we're going to dry it. And that's what we're left with. So these go in the trash can. Please don't leave them out on the table. Now, we're going to use the pin nailer. We're going to make sure that we close that glue and that we wipe the glue and keep it clean. If you get glue mess on the table or on the vise, then make sure that you wipe that clean. Remember that you can always rub your fingers together. It'll ball up and fall off like a booger. Don't eat the booger. And we're going to connect the air on our pin nailer. Well, first of all, we got to load our pin nailer. I'll show you how to do that. You got to release that little clip right there so that clips it shut. And you're going to insert these with the arrow pointing out, and it goes all the way up there in that little bitty hole, in that little bitty slot. And so now we're going to close it, and hopefully it will close all the way and clip, and it does. And so now we can connect the air. Now this tool is the one that I was telling you in that video, does not have a very good safety. It's a very cheap tool, came from Harbor Freight. It does its job well, but it's very cheap and it doesn't have the features that a more expensive tool does. This right here is the safety. It keeps you from pulling the trigger. It pivots over here. So if you get over here and it won't pull, then that's because that safety is on. So pivot it up like that. And then the only thing I really don't like about this one is that it will fire a pin nail every single time that you pull the trigger. And so you've got to be very careful to only keep it pointed towards your project, to be very deliberate with it, and then to disconnect the air supply and put that safety on when it's not in use. And so we're going to connect the air supply right here. And well, actually, before I do that, let me show you where I want to put pin nails. And so I'm going to use my pin to point here. And so when I'm looking at it from right here, I want 2 pin nails on each side of this going straight so that it comes across that tenon on the inside going that way. Now these pin nails are not long enough to go all the way through, and so don't feel like you're going to go all the way through, but we're just going to shoot 1, 2, and then we're going to turn it around and we're going to shoot 3, 4, and then we're going to stick the pin nailer in at an angle like this, shooting from an angle so that it'll go through that tenon inside of this piece. And we're going to shoot 1, 2, and we're going to shoot 3, 4 at an angle. So 8 total in this piece and 8 total in this piece. That's 16 total pin nails. And so now we're going to connect the air, and we're going to fire 2 right here. 1, 2, and then we're going to turn it at an angle and fire 1, 2. Then we're going to turn it around and we're going to repeat 1, 2, and 1, 2. And so that one is done now. Now we'll do this one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then that is all. We're going to disconnect it. We're going to put that safety on, and then we are done with attaching these pieces, and that is going to be a very tight, strong bond that you're going to have difficulty pulling apart. Don't actually try to pull it apart right now, but especially once that glue dries, that's going to end up being a very, very strong bond. So that is how to attach the arm mounts to your base plates, and thank you for watching.